Edward Schaefer has a question. Says, I have some past sins that are pretty bad and very shameful. Do I need to confess these sins to my family and friends? I've confessed them to God and a personal pastor. Edward, this is a really tough one. Some people will give you a quick gut reaction answer. And in general, I don't like listening to people who give answers before understanding all the details of an issue. So to really answer you, Edward, I'd have to know a lot more about your scenario. And I'm just not available for a lot of private counseling, unfortunately, because of my time. I just spend all my time studying. But here are some principles that I would try to apply and ask you to consider as you work through this. The past sin, was it a sin against the person that had a real effect on them? So, for instance, a time when this can be good is, hey, I stole money from so-and-so. It was 20 years ago, but I stole money from them. I've repented of it, but you actually caused them harm. Maybe they don't even know it was you. So you should probably go to them and deal with that and repent and seek to restore it, actually pay it back. When Matthew, the tax collector, came to follow Jesus, he announced, I'm gonna pay back anybody, whatever I've owed. I'll pay them back. And that was great. That was a great thing to do that. Now, he didn't chase down everybody he'd ever taken too much from. He didn't spend his whole life just tracking those people down, but he did make an effort for restitution. But let's say that instead your issue was, I was secretly lusting after this person, and so I feel like I've really wronged them. I think I'll go tell them. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's your flesh that wants you to do that. I'm just going to announce to this person my desires for them physically, to repent. It's like, well, obviously there's wisdom there that says, like, dude, keep it to yourself. Like, they didn't know, they weren't involved. You didn't do them any harm to themselves that they felt. You can repent between you and the Lord on that issue. So it depends on the issue. Now, it could also be a secret thing where, like, you actually had an affair on a spouse and you're thinking, well, I've repented of it, but I've never told them. Well, you should tell them because you actually had an affair. Like, you violated the marriage in its most sacred fashion. And so that would be, do you get what I'm saying? Is like, I want to weigh things like, do they know about it? Was it openly against them in a way that affected them and impacted them, or was it something that was only going on in my heart? If you told, let's say you gossiped about somebody, you tore down their reputation, but you're able to fix it by going to that person who you said that to, and you tell them, hey, I was wrong. I shouldn't have said that, and here, I'm going to fix it. But let's say that you did it to 20 people. That now you've had a much bigger effect. I'm more inclined to have you go to the person and repent. So those are the things that I would consider as I'm working through that, Edward, if I was you. Resist the onslaught of feeling the need to go and confess every sin to every person every time. I think that is not a kindness. That's something we can end up doing for our own catharsis, like to make me feel better about those things that can actually cause wounds to people unnecessarily. And so that's why you want to process these things and ask, would the loving thing be to talk to them about this or to not?